First contact, the mistake. They arrived without ceremony. No warning, no attempt at diplomacy. A ship the size of Manhattan descended from orbit, blotting out the stars above Earth's atmosphere. It hovered above the Pacific, cloaked in shimmering fields and ancient arrogance. The Galactic Empire, sovereign over 10,000 worlds, had deemed Earth ripe for annexation. A voice boomed across every frequency, translated perfectly into every known language. This world is now property of the Empire. Surrender. Assimilate. Serve. Resistance will be eradicated. To the Empire, it was routine. They had conquered hundreds of species before. Earth, with its primitive weapons and fractured nations, was expected to kneel before sunset. They had no idea what they just triggered. In Geneva, military leaders, scientists, and intelligence heads gathered in the United Nations Emergency Operations Center. General Elise Navarro stood at the head of the table, her voice tight with fury. "They think we're soft," she said, "that we're afraid." "No," replied Captain Aisha Cole, head of a Black Ops unit known as Phantom 6. "They think we're predictable. That's worse." While politicians drafted pleas and stall tactics, Earth's shadow programs activated. Decades of planning for hostile contact snapped into motion. AI command matrices lit up, dormant satellites reawakened, and stealth fighters took to the skies under radio silence. Within hours, the Empire deployed its first peacekeeping detachment, towering biomechanical soldiers with plasma rifles and glowing insignias. They marched into Sao Paulo, Tokyo, Johannesburg, and Chicago with the confidence of gods. Civilians ran. Governments hesitated, but not everyone. In Chicago, the first alien squad fell into an ambush. A street gang turned resistance group lured them into a parking garage wired with EMP mines. As the troopers collapsed in spasms of blue light, masked humans descended with thermite charges and Molotovs. In Sao Paulo, the invaders' exosuits malfunctioned after being doused in a homemade neuroacid synthesized by local chemists. Across the world, humanity adapted, fast. On the command deck of the Dread Sovereign, Imperial Commander Vailtar observed the first skirmishes with growing irritation. "They are not kneeling," he muttered. His adjutant, a reptilian tactician bred for war, hissed. "They have spirit, Commander. It will break like all the rest." Vailtar wasn't so sure. These creatures, humans, were unpredictable. Their attacks lacked coordination but compensated with creativity, ferocity, and sheer audacity. They hacked battlefield drones mid-combat. They used their dead as decoys. They smiled as they died. He opened a comm channel to High Command. Resistance encountered, stronger than anticipated, requesting psychological analysis of native species. A pause, then the cold reply. "Unnecessary. Follow protocol. Break them." But Vailtar had seen the footage from Chicago. He had watched a human with a baseball bat charge a mech twice his size and win. This wasn't going to be a conquest. It was going to be a war. Lessons in fire. Humanity strikes back. The first victory came not from space, but from the shadows beneath it. Above Earth, the Empire's orbital weapons platform, designated Talon Sigma, drifted in silent arrogance, armed with kinetic rods capable of leveling cities in seconds. It hovered above Earth like a judge preparing the final sentence. Captain Aisha Cole stared at its live feed from a repurposed bunker deep beneath the Rockies. Her face was grim, illuminated by the flicker of hacked alien code running across cracked monitors. "Is the shuttle cloaked?" she asked. "Not cloaked," her tech replied. "Just unregistered. It's wearing one of their IDs. We spoofed the signal using their own fallback encryption." Aisha strapped on her exosuit, cobbled together from scavenged parts of fallen alien soldiers and reinforced with human ingenuity, duct tape, steel plating, and software held together by spite. "Good enough," she said. "Let's remind them we're not animals." The infiltration team, Phantom 6, launched at dawn. The shuttle ascended quietly through cloud cover, unnoticed by the Empire's overconfident sensors. Within 40 minutes, they breached Talon Sigma. No alarms. No resistance. The aliens didn't even lock the maintenance corridors. They didn't think they had to. Inside, the halls were sterile and humming. Alien troops lounged in armor without helmets, chatting in untranslated dialects. Aisha and her squad moved like wraiths. One by one, the soldiers dropped. Then the alarm screamed. The next 20 minutes were chaos. Human bullets tore through sleek alien alloys. Plasma scorched walls and flesh alike. Aisha fought hand-to-hand with a four-armed commander in a gravity-suppressed chamber, breaking its neck with a shattered rebar. "Plant the charges," she barked. Her second-in-command, Ruiz, limped through a plasma burn to reach the core. 10 seconds, he gasped. Then he smiled. "Told you we could fly." The team barely made it back to the shuttle. Behind them, Talon Sigma erupted in a blossom of fire and twisted metal, raining debris into the upper atmosphere. A victory, costly, but undeniable. The explosion rippled across the Empire's fleet. For the first time in centuries, a native species had destroyed one of their orbital assets. On the Dread Sovereign, Veltar watched the feeds in stunned silence. They were inside the platform, his adjutant asked, voice high with disbelief. They didn't disable it remotely. They boarded it, killed the crew, blew it apart. His fingers tightened on the console. He accessed the Empire's ancient records, declassified fragments of a past war long buried. One name returned over and over, censored but echoing through metadata. Humanity, expunged, non-compliant, termination failed. He sat back, the weight of history crashing down on him. "They're not just survivors," he whispered. "They're a recursion, a remnant of something we failed to kill." Earth celebrated that night, not because the war was over, but because the galaxy had finally realized it was fighting humans. And humans didn't know how to die quietly. The Empire trembles. The Empire's second wave never landed. It was vaporized. As their fleet descended toward Mars to establish a forward base, a trio of human-piloted interceptors, barely space-worthy by galactic standards, unleashed a digital virus into the alien flagship. The ship's AI core, unable to distinguish real threats from false signals, triggered its own auto-destruct protocol. Two cruisers collided, trying to evade the shockwave. Others scattered in panic. From Earth's moon, humanity watched in awe. "They just nuked themselves," muttered Sergeant Keene from the Luna Defense Array. "No," Aisha Cole replied, watching the chaos unfold. "We taught them how to fear." The virus was codenamed Gorgon, created by a coalition of rogue programmers, military hackers, and an AI originally trained to predict human stock trends. It had one simple directive: weaponize confusion. The Empire, built on rigid systems and perfect protocol, had never faced anything like it. Within a week, their communications were fractured. Troops reported ghost signals, phantom enemies, false orders, even hallucinations of dead comrades. Entire squads deserted, convinced they'd been abandoned. Commanders turned on their own scouts. Morale fractured, but humanity didn't stop there. In orbit above Saturn, a salvaged alien warship, renamed Indomitable, made its debut. Piloted by humans trained in just 6 days, its systems customized through trial, error, and brute force intuition, the ship led a precision strike on an Imperial convoy. 10 ships destroyed, supplies lost. Another message broadcast on all frequencies: "You are not fighting primitives. You are fighting us." The propaganda wasn't just for Earth. It was for the Empire. Human AI units hacked into Imperial fleet feeds, playing war footage from Earth. Resistance fighters planting charges under alien mechs. Captured soldiers singing as they burned, children laughing amidst ruins. The Empire saw not fear, but defiance, and it rattled them. On board the Dread Sovereign, Commander Veltar faced growing unrest. His officers whispered about the human problem. Veterans requested reassignment. Some even sabotaged systems to avoid deployment to Earth. Veltar, once the image of control, now looked haggard, eyes sunken, lips tight. "We were told they were animals," said his adjutant, pacing. "That they lacked unity, purpose, endurance." "They do," Veil Tar said softly. But they have something worse. What? Choice. They choose to fight, to die, to resist when reason says surrender. He stared at the hologram of Earth, scarred, burning, unbowed. High Command. Implement Protocol 77. Full extermination authorized. Veiltar's blood chilled. Protocol 77 wasn't conquest. It was genocide. He hesitated. He had seen too much. Their stubbornness, their ingenuity, their madness. Something ancient stirred in his memory, unspoken in the archives. A forgotten war, a failed purge, a warning never heeded. Humanity was not a species. It was a phenomenon. And if the Empire insisted on finishing what it started millennia ago, it would soon learn. Some fires, once lit, refused to die. The reckoning, humanity unleashed. The stars burned with war. The Empire's flagship, Imperius Maxima, descended toward Earth, flanked by an armada the size of Jupiter's shadow. Planet-cracking weapons powered up. From orbit, the Empire prepared to end the human anomaly once and for all. Aboard the indomitable, Aisha Cole adjusted her battered chest plate. The stolen alien warship shuddered as Earth's resistance fleet, 6 cobbled-together vessels, half of them repurposed cargo haulers, moved into formation. "This is it," she said over the comms. "We don't win by surviving. We win by ending them." Back on Earth, underground cities had gone silent. Surface defenses were automated, unmanned. Every able-bodied human was either off-world or fighting through data lines, firewalls, and satellites. Humanity wasn't bracing for impact. It was bracing for vengeance. The battle began with light, a sudden flare from the asteroid belt. Explosives hidden inside hollowed-out rocks struck first, shredding the Empire's outer vanguard. Then came the kamikaze freighters, haulers rigged with fusion cores, crashing into dreadnoughts. Aboard the Dread Sovereign, Veiltar watched in disbelief as formations crumbled. "This isn't a battle," one officer whispered. "It's madness." "No," Veiltar said, eyes locked on the data feeds. "It's humanity." Suddenly, internal comms flickered. Unauthorized transmission. Aisha's voice rang out, clear, unfiltered, on every Imperial frequency. "You came to conquer. You came with fire and chains. And you thought we'd break. You thought wrong. You mistook chaos for weakness, passion for disorganization. Now you'll learn the last mistake of a dying empire. You woke the one species that refuses to kneel." Her signal triggered the final wave. From the far side of the moon, cloaked railgun emplacements opened fire. 3 precision strikes pierced the Imperius Maxima's core. Human AIs hacked into its reactor systems mid-battle, forcing a cascade failure. The Empire's pride, its symbol of supremacy, broke apart like glass under pressure. As it fell, Veiltar made his choice. He turned his vessel, broke formation, and opened a direct channel to Earth. "I am done with slaughter," he said. "You've earned more than survival. You've earned respect. Let's end this." For a moment, silence. Then Aisha replied, "You walk away. We don't chase. But if you ever come back." She left the threat unsaid. It didn't need to be. The Empire fled. For the first time in 10,000 years, it retreated from a war it had started and lost. In the ruins of orbit, aboard the damaged but defiant Indomitable, Aisha looked down at Earth. Still scarred, still standing. "We're not done," she said to her crew. "We build fleets next. Not for defense, for the stars." The crew looked up silent. Beyond the wreckage, space stretched endless. A frontier, a promise. Humanity had survived the storm and become one. They came as gods. They leave knowing what we are and what we're going to become.